Hey everyone, Victor here, Christmas here at Mapster. I got the haircut, everything's changed up. This is the third video in our Upwork How to Succeed series. And in this one, we're going to be talking about like Upwork, the company, and how you are going to relate to them on a legal basis and a fee basis. Stuff that's good to know when you're starting out so you don't like accidentally screw something up. So first off, let's just go right into fees, which is the big one that a lot of people are concerned about. So Upwork has like this tiered fee system. It used to be different, but now it's this tiered one. So for any job that's $0 to $500, Upwork takes 20% of that, right? If it's $500 to $10,000, Upwork takes 10%, and anything over 10,000, they take 5%. So obviously, you're most often going to be falling into that middle range. You will get jobs probably, especially very early on, that are under $500. But in general, you're probably going to be taking on jobs that are 500 to 10,000. That's a pretty big range. So 10% is a solid fee to know, but you're always still going to get hit with that first $500 being at 20%. So that's not insignificant. At least it's not 20% the whole time. But it's very important to know that Upwork can change these anytime they want. So you're reliant on Upwork to some degree to keep fees fair, and you have to be ready to shift platforms, shift your prices, shift how you work with clients if you feel that Upwork has gone to a really unfair fee structure. I definitely recommend just giving it a try. You can always try to inflate your wage 10% from what you might charge elsewhere to make up for that fee, or just go along and see how it works for you for a while before just being totally peeved off at the idea that someone's taking a cut. They are providing a service. I found that it has been worth it. You know, that 10% that I pay is good enough for all the jobs that they bring me and the payment structure and kind of contract format that they set up so that payment is more secure. So I think it's, pretty fair overall, really, even though, of course, I wish it was lower. But this also speaks to the importance of being on multiple platforms. This course is just for Upwork specifically, but a lot of the principles are going to apply to freelancer.com or whatever other people per hour, whatever other platforms are out there that you're using. And there's a lot of them. There's always more and more. If Upwork raises their stuff too much, you go to another platform. Or if Upwork somehow you do something wrong legally with Upwork or have some problem and they cancel your account, you're not like shit out of luck on that, right? You need to have options. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Again, you're viewing this as a game. This isn't, you're not taking on now, we're working for Upwork. We're finding different avenues to get jobs. One thing is that I'm in Canada, so just the conversion rate, because Upwork is always done in US dollars, so the conversion rate more than makes up for the actual cut that Upwork takes. So that works really well for me that, yeah, of course I'm getting less, but in my head it kind of works out because when I transfer the money from US to Canadian, that bit that Upwork gets is just lost in the conversion. That's how I just justify it in my head. And one really important thing is if you are in another country, so if you're not getting this directly put into your US dollar bank account, use a TransferWise account. Hook that up to your Upwork. Don't have Upwork send that money and then get conversion fees from your bank or from PayPal or whatever. Use TransferWise. That's really what you want to do there. In terms of buying connects, so connects are, you have to spend these in order to do a proposal on Upwork. Just with a free plan, you get 60 a month. And some of the jobs cost like slightly different amounts. But anyway, it should be fine if you just aren't going at a like blitzing pace and you just do like 1 or 2 proposals a day, which is what I'd recommend at the start. You just have a steady, constant effort. But to buy a few more, it's not a huge expense. These connects are just an extra income revenue stream for Upwork, and I wouldn't worry about it again. You should view this as a small investment that you're putting forward to explore this avenue of your business. So set aside $100. That's maybe your investment maximum.
Hey everyone, just a quick note here. As I'm editing this video, I looked a little bit more at how Connects work now. It seems like the changes. You will have to sign up for a $14.99 a month Freelancer Plus account to get the 70 Connects every month. Otherwise, you just get 10. 10 is probably not going to be enough for you to make a real attempted Upwork. That being said, you do get 40 when you register on Upwork for the first time, so that should be good for at least your first month and sort of getting things rolling. And then they talk a bit here on this link, which will be in the description, of the different ways you use Connex and how things work with that. So just take a quick look. I just wanted to adjust this so you're not getting the wrong information.
Also, when it comes to the money you make in Upwork, this will get transferred to you. It doesn't get transferred instantly when a job is done. There's a fairly long delay. You'll submit your invoice to a client, then they have a certain amount of time, usually until the end of the week, to approve it or contest it. And then once that's all sorted out, we'll talk about contestation in the part of dealing with clients, but once that's all sorted out, then it goes through like an escrow process where I think it takes about 2 weeks for it to finally come to your account. It gets removed from the client, it sits in escrow. There's like a time when they can continue disputing it or whatever, and then finally it lands in your account. So it's usually going to be a few weeks from when you actually charge to when that money finally gets to you. And then once it gets to you, it sits in your Upwork account. And I would really recommend that you never let it sit in your Upwork account for a long time. Don't let that accumulate like thousands and thousands of dollars, because you never know what might happen with Upwork. The site might go down, it might get hacked, you might get banned for a totally unfair reason because they just screwed up an algorithm somewhere and you got banned. And I don't think that money is really recoverable, especially if you're not in a country where you can deal with them on a legal basis. And who the hell wants to do that anyway? So just make it a really regular thing that when you have money in there, you send it out to your bank. Like I said, especially TransferWise, I think it's really great because you don't get any fee on that. Just send that out at a regular interval and don't make that mistake. Now, in terms of basic legal stuff with Upwork, so they talk about you can't make fake jobs, you can't pay for reviews, and don't work outside Upwork. This is a big one that they talk about a lot. That's like never work outside Upwork. They even try to say like, I think they ban you from sending emails in the chat when you're initially discussing things with the client until you've actually created a job and like signed the little contract between you, because they don't want you immediately just meeting someone on Upwork and going to emails right away. And that's very understandable. Of course, you have to be able to communicate with the client, and you can't send everything through Upwork. So you're going to end up communicating outside Upwork. But they're trying to control that because they know that a lot of people meet each other on Upwork and end up basically working outside it, so Upwork never gets their cut. So I'm not going to give any advice on this topic, but I'm going to lay out what people often do and the risks and rewards and the legal and the fairness of different things. So a lot of times what will happen is people will contact you on Upwork and immediately start talking about working off Upwork. So there's a risk to this, right? The risk is that Upwork notices that you've done this, or you're doing this consistently, or maybe they scan the chats and see that, look for buzzwords like work out Upwork or get email or whatever, and they check and they see that you consistently have that conversation with clients and then disappear and nothing ever happens. That's going to start to raise red flags for them, and they could easily just ban your account, and that's it for your Upwork thing and all those reviews you worked for. So that's a real risk. On the reward side, of course, there's the thing of not having to pay the Upwork fee. So that's a potentially, it's a small but not insignificant amount of money. On a $10,000 job, that's about $1,000 or so. So it's not insignificant, but you should bear in mind also Upwork is providing a service for you, and it's probably fair and to also make sure that they're paid for it. So use your own judgment about what you think is worth the risk and reward there. Maybe you think it's more fair to work with someone for a while, and after you finish a first full job with them, maybe you go off Upwork with them. Or maybe if someone's offering you like a full-time job, you don't have to take it completely through Upwork for the rest of time. Or maybe you're more in line with just sticking with the Upwork policies. But know that this is a thing that people will talk about, so you should get your feelings straight about what you want to do with Upwork there. Like I said, you want to be really careful in any case about discussing this with clients on the Upwork platform, because you don't want to get banned by any kind of scanning mechanisms and things like that.
Hey everyone, just another note here. I dug a bit more into the latest changes with Upwork in terms of changing contracts to go from working on Upwork to off Upwork. So it is possible to move that, to convert it so that you don't have to work on Upwork forever for a really long term, like I talk about. There's some really cool ideas there. One of them is that if you have maintained a relationship for at least 2 years on the platform, then you can convert it for basically $1. That's great. And then also ones that for some reason you did outside the platform and then brought on to Upwork, you can leave for free. And then there's another difference here of if you'd like to leave Upwork with a client, they have a conversion fee of 13.5% of estimated earnings over a 12-month period. So I don't know exactly how they estimate that. I presume they take what you've earned in the past month or two from a client, extend that out to 12 months, and you have to pay it up front. Obviously, that's quite a bit. I just wanted to throw this in so that you know there's options beyond just like violating terms of service and going directly off Upwork versus working on Upwork forever.
Now, what is legal and what is fair is again up to you. Legally, you're not allowed to do anything outside Upwork. You talk outside Upwork, discuss things, payment, move a client outside Upwork at any point. What is fair, that's very much up to you. If you feel like you've worked with a client for a long time and Upwork's got a great cut, but you're told you'd rather work with them outside, at that point you've established enough independent communication that you could probably do that, but be aware you won't have some of Upwork's protections around billing and kind of organization of projects, time protection, and that sort of thing that we'll talk about when it comes to actually working on projects. So again, this is up to you. I can't really give any advice either way. I would definitely recommend helping the platform. It is a great source of work, and you don't want it to just die from people abusing this part of it. But a lot of people do find ways to get around Upwork and work outside it in the long run. The more important that Upwork is to you as a source of income, the more important it should be that you follow their stuff exactly to the letter. But that I'll put in your hands. I just wanted to give you the information of that you're going to face this and how you might approach it on your own terms. So we'll see you in the next video where we'll actually start getting into the meat of Upwork, getting your first job and getting going.